So who's returning punts for you on Saturday?
We have a few options. We can tell you it would be some familiar faces and possibly a new face.
Is David Moore in that conversation?
Yes, he's definitely in the conversation. He's on our roster, he's on our team, and he did a fine job when he had his opportunity.
Bill Huber.
Oh, how you doing?
Hey, Bill.
We probably talked about this before the Minnesota game, but just what kind of advantage is it that you guys get to practice in this weather? I realize that Robbie Gold's kicked in it a bunch too, but did you guys get to deal with it? I mean, it was just miserable out there today.
Absolutely.
Well, on Saturday too.
Yeah, absolutely. I called it, I think weeks ago. It's a learning laboratory, so we get the opportunity to kick out. And even if we have an indoor session, we choose to go out in the elements as specialists just to make sure we get some work in with the wind and against the wind and crosswind and things of that nature. So we look forward to that working in our favor.
Rob Dabowski.
Hey Mo, just following up on Bill's weather question. Other than just the way the ball reacts in the cold, does it affect special teams, in any other way if it's really cold?
Well, it affects special teams in that what kickers, punters, snappers, holders, returners, anytime it affects the direction, the trajectory of the ball, the velocity of the ball, and so it does become an issue. And luckily for us, we have the opportunity to practice in these climates.
Steve McGargy.
Obviously, y'all had the game against the Bears where y'all had the breakdowns on special teams. How did you feel y'all responded the last few games of the regular season? Where do you think y'all are special teams wise now? Do you feel you've gotten better these last few games?
Well, last week we had the opportunity to dissect, I think I said it last week, in XOG, what we've done. We started out the year in a decent position and was trending up. That third quarter of the season is when we really hit a slump, and we started having things happening to us on the regular that quite frankly can't happen. But over the last 3 weeks, we're definitely trending up. I think I mentioned before that our practices have been on point, and the guys are now transferring what they're doing in practice to the game field. So we feel very encouraged. They are very encouraged, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do here on Saturday night.
Bill Huber.
They've got a couple different returners since you played them that first time. Does that matter at all to you, or is it just basically the only thing that matters is their scheme? How does that work for you?
Schematically, it doesn't matter the who that returner is, because schematically he's doing the same things. But the returner himself does make a difference. They have some different returning styles, so that may affect a few ways on how we may attack the returner. I can tell you, Coach Hightower does a fine job. He always has. He's had to deal with some things this season that have been uncharacteristic as well. So it's just been one of those years, and look forward to matching up with him. But he's a very, very good coach, and he does a very, very good job.
Jason Wilde.
Hey, Mo, how are you?
Hey, Jason.
I respect Matt's attempt to get information out of you, as unsuccessful as it was. So let me ask you this about the return game instead. I feel like I asked you this earlier in the year. What does it take to get some explosive returns in both the punt and I know the kick return game, it's a little limited with the ball ending up in the end zone so much of the year, but you've had two pretty good-sized punt returns lately from two different guys. What's it going to take to get that bounce from your guys for the offense?
Well, it definitely, as coordinators attack us, I think they look at the body of work. I think it starts with the pressures. And if they're worried about your pressures, they put an emphasis on protection. If there's an emphasis on protection, they're not getting out as fast. So time at the line of scrimmage equals yardage gain. And then the most important thing is those two guys on the outside, those corners. If they're able to hold up their gunners, you have a chance to get the return started.
Jason, if you have another, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Eric. I just wanted to follow up. So as far as the kickoff return game, when it's cold, do you anticipate more return opportunities because it's harder to kick the ball into the end zone, and how does that kind of impact your approach?
Yes, definitely here in Lambeau, really late September, early October, it kind of starts as far as wind and things of that nature. So we do anticipate returns. So you try to build returns that fit shorter kicks with higher hang times, and you do a good job of making your adjustments from that standpoint. But that is a factor. That's something that every coordinator he puts in the mental Rolodex as he builds his game plan when playing in Lambeau or Chicago or any of these places where the weather can affect you.